Hey, good morning. Welcome to a Morning Scone edition the day after Todd Peterson became an LSU baseball legend. If not legend, folk hero. Does that work? Amazing. Tournament baseball lends some incredible results and situations, and last night was certainly one of them. LSU beat South Carolina 6-4 to advance. They'll play another elimination game today, Friday. They'll play the loser of the Florida-Arkansas game. Now, because the first two games of the day yesterday went so late, the tournament decided to take the fourth game, Florida-Arkansas, and play it today, Friday morning. So the loser of that game, the Florida-Arkansas game, will have to come back and play tonight. They'll play this morning. The loser will play tonight against LSU, roughly 7:30 scheduled first pitch. So we'll see how that goes off. But look, I mean, we could talk so much about the game, but really, Todd Peterson is the story. And, you end up, we're brought to you by Boudreaux's Mixes here on Morning Scone. Go celebrate the weekend. It's Memorial Day weekend. If you're going to be having Bloody Marys at lunch, or if you're going to be having margaritas out by the pool, use a local product. Go see our friends at Calandro's, at Calvin's, at Alexander's, or online at boudreauxmixes.com. Make sure you got Boudreaux's Mixes, boudreauxmix.com, boudreauxmix.com, and purchase the product and use a local product this weekend on Memorial Day weekend. So, tournament baseball will lend you some weird scenarios just because college baseball rosters aren't built to play 5 or 6 consecutive days. They're just not. You have a 3-game weekend, usually have a day or 2 days off. You play a midweek game, 2 or 3 days off, and then you go back into your weekend. Normally it's a 4-game week. You're not playing 4 games in 4 days or 5 games in 5 days. LSU, if you recall, had to do this earlier this year when they ended up playing 2 midweek games. They had to make good a midweek game that they brought back, and they had their weekend series, so it ended up being 5 games in 6 days, which you don't ever really want to do, but they had to. But this is different. We've played now Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. This will be the 4th day in a row that LSU's played, and if they win, of course, they have to play on. So we'll talk about maybe the pros and cons now of should they win in advance today against either Florida or Arkansas. So let's just start with what happened with Peterson last night. So if you've watched AFR or listened to AFR for any length of time over the last 2 years, we've started this stupid thing with Peterson, with this drop from the movie That's My Boy. It's an Adam Sandler, Andy Samberg movie. I've mentioned it here before, but Andy Samberg's character, his name is actually Han Solo Burger. Later in life, kid changes his name to Todd Peterson. Then at the end of the movie, he has this revelation that he actually loves his dad and loves his life and all that stuff. And so he goes, "My name's not Todd Peterson." And Andy Samberg says it just like that. So when I saw LSU had a kid named Todd Peterson on the roster, I remembered that cut, I pulled it, and so every time anybody says Todd Peterson on the show, me, a guest, anybody, Brian, our producer, knows to hit that drop. And so it's just become a conditioned response. So literally, people who listen to the show can't hear Todd Peterson's name mentioned on a broadcast. People at the Hoover Met, when he went to the bullpen, or he's on taking pictures and tweeting me pictures from the Hoover Met of Todd Peterson. He has sort of become synonymous with the show, oddly enough. But it's the way sometimes wacky radio bits can work. So last night, when Todd Peterson cruises and locks down Arkansas for South Carolina for 5 innings and throws 77 pitches, I believe. When LSU absolutely had to have it, he just kept on churning. Yeah, he threw 72 pitches. And then the way it happened, if you weren't watching the game, is Austin Bain was the DH. He came in to pitch. They left him in the game, put him at first base. But when that happened, LSU forfeited the DH, which meant the pitcher had to hit. Well, Peterson was rolling. And in the 12th, his spot in the lineup came up. So Maneri had a decision to make. You either let Peterson hit, or you find someone, you pinch hit, and find someone else who can pitch the 12th. So they let Peterson hit, and apparently Todd Peterson told Maneri that he used to hit bombs in high school and all this stuff. He goes up and he ropes a 2-strike double off the wall, a 2-run double off the wall. And, he's standing there on second base doing the gladiator, "Are you not entertained?" thing. And it was a hell of a piece of hitting, man. Kept his head down, roped the ball, good bat speed. I mean, he missed a home run by 3 feet. A 3-run homer by 3 feet. So there's this epic. So anyway, when that happens, it's odd. Like my phone starts blowing up. Like you would have thought that I was the one that hit the ball off the wall with the way my notifications were going. Like literally thousands of tweets, retweets, mentions. If you go to Twitter and just type in @MattMoscone and look at the mentions from yesterday, it's obnoxious. Like literally thousands. It was the one time in my life where I almost had to like turn off my phone because it was just ding, 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 one after another when that happened. So I was thrilled for it, but then it's like the legend grew even more because not only did a pitcher get the hit for the first time in his career, and he ropes a double against an SEC closer, by the way, but Peterson also gets up there. It was off of Gilreath as well. Peterson's post-game interview on the field, he's like, yeah, when he hit in high school, he's like, yeah, I hit bombs. Like, so I hit bombs goes viral. Hit the post-game interview, which was just epic. And then they get into the post-game press conference. I'm not sure how many people saw this, but Jacques Doucet asked Todd, not knowing, what he said on the field to the SC Network reporter. Jacques Doucet of WAFB asked Todd Peterson, hey, when was the last time you hit in a game? And Todd comes clean and says, hey, coach, I never really hit in high school. And Maneri's like, what? He's like, yeah, he's like, you lied? He's like, yeah, coach, I wanted to swing. So he lied to Maneri about hitting in high school. Like his coaches would never let him hit because they didn't want him to get hurt. So he's like, I took BP a couple times. He was, I hit lasers. I mean, it's like the layers of that story were so awesome. And it's just one of those things that sometimes tournament baseball affords you, where you end up with guys doing things they don't normally do because you have to, because you're at the end of your bench or depth or whatever it may be in those situations. And that's what happened for Todd Peterson last night, and it was awesome. So we are efforting Todd Peterson today to start the show on AFR at 3 o'clock Central Time. So like LSU's not going to play until 7:30 tonight, so it should work out time-wise. I put in the request. Todd's good with it. Got to see if LSU gives the thumbs up for it. But I think we're going to be able to start AFR today with the man, with Todd Peterson on the show, which we've done this drop for 2 years. We've never had him on the show. So, and that's kind of been intentional. Been waiting for the right time, and this feels like absolutely the right time to introduce the man to the drop. So we'll look forward to that. As for LSU, by the way, I feel so bad for Daniel Cabrera because Cabrera actually is the one who got the game-winning RBI in the 12th. He got the RBI single in the 12th to put LSU up 4-3. And then Peterson comes back with a 2-run double, so LSU's up 6-3. But all everybody's talking about, obviously, is Todd Peterson. But huge piece of hitting yesterday, for Daniel Cabrera. Caleb Gilbert got the start, went 3 1/3. But it seems like everything prior to what Peterson did in the 12th is just kind of irrelevant at this point. You play 12 innings, wacky things are going to happen. You're going to see wacky things in the line score. But either way, LSU got the win. If you had any lingering doubt at all if they were going to make a regional after their win in the opening day against Mississippi State, let not your heart be troubled. It is absolutely official. LSU's RPI has climbed up to 40, I think. Actually, I need to check it this morning after yesterday evening's games. But let's see if I can check it right now to see if it's listed anywhere from D1 Baseball if they got an updated RPI. I'll tell you, we'll do this kind of right here as we're talking. They were 40 at last I saw, and they are now at they're at 41. So I'm sorry. So that was accurate. So they're at 41. So anyway, they're in. LSU's going to be in. Tonight's game, I'm not going to be sad if they lose because now you're getting into Friday. You're getting toward your weekend, okay? And what you don't want to have to do is consider bringing back Hess or Hilliard because you want to start setting up your pitching for regionals. So you're going to play a Friday, Saturday, Sunday regional, theoretically. Well, no, you will. If you're going to play Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you want your pitching set up where you can go Hess, Hilliard, Labus, or whoever you're going to start, if Labus is good. I don't know what option you have today if you're Pulmonary. Matt Beck has not pitched yet, so my guess is that they're going to start Matt Beck. But after that, I don't want them to use any of their arms. I don't want them to use anybody they may count on next weekend. So that means use Nowak, Reese, Clay Moffitt, use Taylor Peterson, like use those guys and just get through this game. And if you lose 100-0, it doesn't really matter. So, because you're in. And the more important thing at this point is setting up your pitching for next week. So while, of course, you'd love to see LSU win, like you never want to see your team lose, this is one of those situations where it's probably best if they exit stage left tonight. They've done what they needed to do. They needed one win. They got two. We got the awesomeness of the Todd Peterson thing, which will live on forever, and that we'll talk about that forever. But this is a game where use whatever arms you got to use just to get through it. Don't use any of your key guys, so that way you're setting up next weekend in regional play wherever you're going to be. So Todd Peterson, look for him today. Listen for him today at 3 o'clock on AFR. Fingers crossed that this is going to happen. And do us a solid. First of all, have a safe and happy Memorial Day weekend. And go check out our friends at Boudreaux's. If you have not yet hit the subscribe button on this YouTube page, why not? We're not friends if you haven't hit the subscribe button, so do it. Hit the subscribe button down there and go check out boudreauxmix.com. Check out all their social media and buy their stuff because it's really good and they're local and they're sponsoring this show. So Boudreaux's Mix, the Bloody Mary and the Margarita Mix, buy it. Y'all have a great Memorial Day weekend. We'll talk to you tomorrow.